I started getting paid $1,000 every Friday until I found out where the money came from. 3 months ago, I found an envelope taped to my apartment door. Inside was exactly $1,000 in cash and a sticky note that said, "Same time next week." There was no name, no return address, nothing. At first, I thought it was some kind of mistake. I asked every neighbor if they'd lost an envelope, checked with the apartment manager, and even called the local police. Nobody claimed it. The officer actually laughed and said, "If someone starts paying your rent every week, let me know where to apply." I deposited the money and figured that would be the end of it. The following Friday, another envelope appeared. Same amount, same handwriting, same message, same time next week. By week 4, I stopped believing it was random. Someone was deliberately giving me $4,000 a month. The only problem was, I had absolutely no idea why. I installed a doorbell camera. Every Friday morning, I'd rewind the footage, expecting to catch the mysterious millionaire. Instead, every recording glitched at exactly 6:13 a.m. 10 seconds of static. Then the envelope was suddenly there. I replaced the camera. Same thing. Bought a different brand. Same thing. Borrowed my neighbor's camera and pointed it at my own door. Same glitch. My neighbor joked that either I had a ghost or the world's smartest mailman. Then things got weirder. One Friday, the envelope contained only $999. Tucked inside was another note. "Sorry, coffee was expensive today." Whoever this person was, they had a sense of humor. I became obsessed. I changed my work schedule just to sit by the peephole every Friday morning. At exactly 6:13, my phone buzzed with a spam call. It distracted me for maybe 3 seconds. When I looked back, the envelope was already outside. I opened the door so fast I nearly pulled a muscle. The hallway was empty. No footsteps, no elevator, nothing. At that point, I was sleeping worse than someone who drinks espresso before bed. I hired a private investigator. 2 weeks later, he called me sounding strangely uncomfortable. He told me to meet him at a diner instead of his office. When I arrived, he slid a folder across the table and asked me one question. "Have you ever heard of Daniel Mercer?" I hadn't. Inside the folder was a newspaper article from 12 years earlier. A drunk driver had crashed into another car, killing a young father named Daniel Mercer. I kept reading until I froze. The address listed for the accident was the exact intersection where I'd totaled my first car in college. The investigator explained that Mercer had survived the crash initially, but died in the hospital 2 days later. Then he looked me straight in the eyes and said, "The driver who caused the accident was never identified." My stomach dropped. Years ago, I'd hit another vehicle during a heavy storm. I remembered calling 911 before blacking out from a concussion. When I woke up in the hospital, officers told me another driver had fled the scene before emergency crews arrived. I'd spent years believing I was the victim. According to the investigator, I wasn't. The case file had recently been reopened after someone anonymously submitted new evidence. Then he handed me a final photograph. It showed a man leaving my apartment building every Friday morning carrying an empty envelope. I recognized him immediately. He'd been living across the hall from me for almost 2 years. I'd spoken to him maybe 5 times. He was Daniel Mercer's younger brother. I confronted him that night. He didn't deny anything. He admitted he'd spent